Tiffany, how is that so that she is able to come to Fulton County that is becoming a hub for corruption, deception, manipulation?
But Trump, if you're listening, call me.
And you're a Democrat in Illinois, but now you're running as a Republican in Georgia.
I don't no longer want to be attached to the Democrat Party. Why did I change and switch from Democrat to Republican? I stated several times to y'all, their core values at that don't align with mine. So I'm all about God.
We are back to talk more about the super mayor, actually the ex-super mayor. So she didn't just do one media interview, she did two the other day. And she did a live stream. It doesn't seem like she has learned anything, but we definitely see the rebrand happening here. She's trying to be a conservative now. Let's see if it's actually working. Let's get into it. So if you saw yesterday's video, we reacted to Tiffany Hayard's interview with on a News Nation. It wasn't a whole interview. I haven't found it yet, but you know, it turns out that this was not just one stop. She is doing a whole media day. This is a strategy. She is going on conservative media outlets like Newsmax because she knows two things. Most of those audience may not even know her history. If they're not from the area, they may not spend time watching 2 years of WGN Investigates breaking down her spending records. They probably didn't check out the Dolton board meetings. They didn't follow the FBI subpoenas. She's banking on some ignorance here. Some of those outlets might not even care because right now, let's be completely honest, a black woman switching from the Democrat to the Republican Party is a good story for conservative media. It fits a narrative that Democrats are losing people, and that's the kind of segment that writes itself. And Tiffany Hayard knows that, and she's using it. She's trying to make this calculation that, hey, I can put this out here and I'll have some conservatives ride with me if I say the right things about how terrible the Democrats are. She brands this entire comeback, as she calls it, Project Phoenix.
This is Project Phoenix, and we about to start up.
Calling her campaign Project Phoenix. She describes it as, quote, me rising, me showing the world what it looks like to come out of controversy. Me showing the world like when they keep trying to dirty your name up.
Okay, come out of controversy. That's a very interesting way to describe an active FBI investigation. That's a creative way to describe two of your top aides pleading guilty to federal charges and cooperating with the feds. Coming out of a controversy usually implies that the controversy is over, and clearly it's not over. Keith Freeman, your village administrator, pled guilty. Lewis Lacey, your police chief, pled guilty. Both of their sentencing dates are being held until the feds determine the value of their cooperation. That's not controversy that you came out of. That's a fire that's still burning. You just moved to a different state, so you can't feel the heat right now. And keep trying to dirty your name up. Tiffany, I think a lot of that was done by you. People who audit your spending. WGN didn't dirty your name. They filed a Freedom of Information request that you refused to comply until they had to take you to court. Your own voters didn't dirty your name. They voted you out. That's not people dirtying your name. That's people just seeing what's happening. They're reading receipts. They're seeing how this whole situation turned into complete chaos back in Dolton.
The crime rate is bad here. It's just like Chicago, but we can fix it. And sometimes it's okay to reach across the aisle and say, hey, can you help us? Can you bring people in to neutralize what's going on? And I've been saying this before it hit my doorstep. But Trump, if you're listening, call me. I'm the type to reach across the aisle and say, let's work. Let's do this. Unity, because that's what it's all about. I don't care what you are, blue, red, y'all have to do this. Because right now, people, let's be real. What did they just do? They stopped paying the TSA workers. So who is it hurting? I don't care about they bickering and they fight. I care about you hurting the people, meaning everybody was affected. Everybody. So now when everyone's affected by people fights, what should the people do? I'll wait. I need some answers. Somebody come and tell me, what should the people do when the government is affecting you?
But now she's on Facebook Live asking the President of the United States to call her. The former village mayor of Dolton, Illinois, who was under federal investigation running for county commissioner in Georgia, asking the president to call her on a Facebook live stream. I don't even know what to say about that. But here's what she's really doing. She's trying to attach herself to Trump's brand. She's going on Newsmax. She's talking about the crime in Chicago. She's calling for the National Guard. She's praising the president because she wants conservative media to embrace her. She wants to be the story of the black Democrat who saw the light and switched sides. And it's possible that some of these outlets may be running with it because they're either not doing their homework or the narrative is too good to fact check. In the other interview, the host asked her about her father being shot in Chicago, and she pivots to supporting Trump's crime crackdown.
I truly believe that if they do not let him in, it's going to get worse. And it is getting worse. It hasn't gotten better. And no one has a solution. But because he is the solution is the reason why people are afraid to show you what they have not been doing this entire time, which is neglecting the people.
Now, anytime your family member is getting shot, it's crazy, especially if it's your father. That's terrible. And obviously no one should be making light of that. But let's be honest with what she's trying to do. She is using a personal tragedy to position herself politically on conservative media. That's not advocacy. That's branding. And some of that audience that she's speaking to in Newsmax may not understand that back in Dolton, she used police resources not to fight crime, but to build herself a personal security motorcade that cost taxpayers 6 figures in overtime.
Because I wasn't running for office. I said that several times. I ran because the people needed me to do so. The people needed a voice here in Fulton County because right now there's none. And like I said, everybody got something to say.
The people needed her? Which people? She registered to vote in Georgia 2 days after losing her mayoral race. 2 days. She opened a clothing store in College Park called the New Wave Clothing Shop. She filed to run for Fulton County Commissioner as the lone Republican in a 91% Democratic district. Nobody in Fulton County was out there demanding Tiffany Hayes to come save them. She saw an open lane, no Republican competition, 4 Democrats splitting the primary vote, and she took it. That's not a calling. That's just a calculation. And then on this interview, the host asked her the same question everybody asks. Why switch states? And she gave a completely different answer than when she gave to Katie Pavlik. This time is about her daughter and property.
And I think even just that, not just switching parties, but switching states, I think may have a lot of people saying, what is she up to? What are you up to?
So the reason why I switched states is, number one, my child. My baby's everything to me. And she needed a better way to grow and be who she's meant to be. So I wanted to give her the opportunity to blossom like the flower she is. And then the other reason is the property taxes. Think about it. The property taxes in Chicago are ridiculous. And that's going throughout the Southland. They keep raising the property taxes and they keep telling you they're going to help you. And that's what I mean about the Democrats. They keep saying one thing, but then they doing the opposite. There's no reason why the Southland of Chicago should have ridiculous property taxes, let alone Chicago.
So on News Nation, it was about faith in God, but on this other interview, it's about her daughter and property taxes. On a live stream, it's because the people in Fulton County needed her. She has a different answer for every audience. That right there tells you everything.
Because you gotta understand, I've always, since day one, remember I was a trustee first, and then I became the mayor, and then I became the supervisor, therefore becoming the biggest in the state of Illinois. And the issue was too much power for you. Tiffany, you're a woman. You're black. You're young. You shouldn't have all that power. Y'all know that scene in Malcolm X? And he said, oh, that's too much power for that. You know what? Remember when he put his hand up and they turned around and told him to walk? That kind of thing. And that's what's kind of going on. But when a woman gets in and she comes in and she fixes and changes things, people just got a whole different outlook of things.
So the FBI investigation, the debt deficit, the credit card spending, the first class flights, the Vegas trip, the Tiffany Hayes Care Foundation, all that was just people who couldn't handle a young black woman in power. That's the explanation. Not the credit card debt, not the overtime in the police, not the way she handled these meetings. None of that. Not the 2 aides that pled guilty for federal charges, not the big brawls and fights in the township. All that was because people couldn't handle a young black woman in power. First of all, she's not young. She's in her mid-40s. This is the playbook. Now, I don't know why I put race into it, because if you are trying to appeal to conservatives, frame yourself as a victim of race is not something they're usually cool with, but this is the playbook. And she thinks this is going to work. That's why she goes on Newsmax, and she's probably not going to go back on WGN. Obviously, she doesn't live there anymore, but WGN has the receipts. And Newsmax, being a national media outlet that's covering situations that's going on with Trump, they're not checking that. And she's hoping that Georgia voters don't go looking for them either. So she's out there just advertising everything. She's running for the county commissioner. She's using her political media interviews to advertise her clothing business. Listen, she's trying to make that dollar.
This is Project Phoenix, and I have a clothing store here on Old National. So please come in, support me at 5495 Old National Highway in College Park.
All right, sounds like you are one very busy woman.
It all looks kind of silly to me, but honestly, that tells you where her head is. This isn't necessarily about public service. It's about her growing her brand. The full picture, Tiffany Hayes did an entire media day trying to get on those conservative outlets, giving different answers to every interview, asking Trump to call on her Facebook Live, branding her comeback Project Phoenix, and plugging her clothing store anywhere she goes. We will see how she does when she has to testify. Is it testify or just speak? Whatever. She has to talk on the 20th of this month. She's going to have to answer some questions based on her residency if she's trying to get on this ballot as Fulton County Commissioner. So that's definitely something that a lot of people are going to be plugged into. We'll definitely check it out and react to that. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.